Got some impressions for you.
Pika, Pika, Pika.
Sigh. Sigh. Actually, in this movie, it was more like sigh. Sigh. Squirtle. 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 What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just watched the brand new movie Detective Pikachu, and we are going to talk about it today. I was so pumped for this. I did not know how to feel about it because I was like, we're getting Detective Pikachu and not Ash Ketchum in the battles. Then I saw the trailers, I got used to Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, and I slowly got myself really excited for this film, and nostalgia really holds true when it comes to Pokemon, so I'm very excited to talk about this today. I want you guys down in the comments section below, let me know, were you looking forward to this movie? Did Detective Pikachu interest you at all? And if you're not a fan of this franchise, how did you feel about the movie? Let's talk about Detective Pikachu. So in a world where people collect Pokemon to do battle, a boy comes across an intelligent, talking Pikachu who seeks to be a detective. This movie is directed by Rob Letterman. He is the director of movies like Gulliver's Travels and Shark Tale and Goosebumps. Those are very random movies, but he has been better as of late. I didn't mind movies like Monsters vs. Aliens. He directed that. And then Goosebumps, I was actually a fan of the new Goosebumps movie. Not the newest one, the sequel, but the first one I thought was pretty good. So I was excited to see what direction he could take this franchise that has already been established. We have seen plenty of movies before. There have been all kinds of Pokemon movies in the animated world. Of course, the game is really where all of the fandom has spawned from, and then the TV show, absolutely. But I was excited to see this in the live action world. So here's how I am going to do this review. I'm going to talk about if you are a fan of Pokemon the brand, and if you are new to this franchise, if you are seeing this movie without having a connection to Pokemon in general. We start off with the fans of the franchise. I know you guys are wondering and asking if you haven't seen the movie yet, are you going to be happy if you are a fan of this brand? And I think you are. Look, this movie is not the best thing I've seen all year, and it did not masterfully craft everything about it to where it comes together to a cohesive masterpiece. But I had a really good time with it. I had a good time with this world. I had a good time with the characters. The human characters are absolutely overshadowed by the Pokemon themselves, but I think that was the goal of the film. The Pokemon are awesome. I love the voices, even though some of them were slightly different than the original animated show, but you expect that in a live action movie. They're gonna bring in different voice actors. They were as true to form as you can get, though, very similar all around. And of course, you have your Pikachus that are the same. You have certain other Pokemon, you have the same voice, but overall, a slightly different spin on the characters, but I'm okay with that. And then the display of powers. How were they handled in the movie? I thought they were handled accurately. You can tell the filmmakers really care about these characters, and they wanted to showcase the creatures themselves. The humans, while they are kind of at the forefront of this film, they are pushed to the side when they need to be, which I actually really liked because the dialogue itself, we'll get into that later, but it is not the strongest thing I've ever seen. And in the story, it's slightly predictable. I kind of figured what was going to happen in the third act, and that is a slight detriment to the film, but the time that I had, the entertainment factor, and just seeing the Pokemon on screen for the very first time in a live action setting, I thought was really cool. Now, some may look at this and say, well, the CGI is not the best thing I've ever seen, but I found it more of a stylistic choice from the directors and the people behind the scenes. They made the characters stand out a bit more, which may make it look fake to some, but to someone like me, I looked at that and I said, you know what, I like what they're doing. They're making it slightly look animated, but in a really cool, realistic way, and I appreciated that. We got something different with the CGI in this movie. Once again, you may look at it and say, well, it's not the best. I thought it worked for the story and the setting that they were going for. And then something I want to talk about, still kind of catering to the fans of Pokemon in general, I loved the establishment of this world. Rhyme City, which I thought looked awesome. It had this Blade Runner aesthetic to it. It kind of reminded me of Ghost in the Shell as well, but in a really good and colorful way. The settings, the background, the set design, it all looked really good, and it sucked you into this world. If you did not get sucked in by the characters, if you didn't love how they were were handled. The world itself definitely is established from the first frame, and from there on out, you are connected with these characters because of the journey that they're on and the place that they are in. And I do think if you are a fan of this brand, of these characters, you are going to at least enjoy this movie, get a kick out of seeing all of the characters on screen, and pay attention to all of the things in the background because there are so many posters on the wall and Pokemon that you might miss if you blink or you go to the bathroom. So I encourage you, pay close attention if you are a fan and you just want to see how many can I spot, how many can I capture in my mind. I think that's another really cool element to this film. Now, if you are not fans of this franchise, or you know of the characters, you just don't know specifics or the names, like my wife, she watched the movie with me tonight. She knows Pikachu, she knows Bulbasaur, she knows Charizard, but those are kind of the standard Pokemon that the average fan will know, and then some people go in not knowing anybody but Pikachu. So how are you going to feel about this film? Well, I don't see everyone loving it. I honestly see some people thinking it's super cheesy, super over the top. I kind of liked how it was over the top at times because it captured the feel of the original TV show. So for me, that worked. But for some others, I could see how this could disappoint you from a character standpoint for the most part, because the characters, they're underwritten. Not the Pokemon, not Ryan Reynolds, who we will talk about here in just a second. The actual human actors. Justice Smith, I love the guy for the most part, but there were some lines in here, especially more towards the beginning of the movie, he just tried his best to deliver, and it came off as awkward. Kim Watanabe is good. He doesn't have a lot to do. And then Bill Nighy, he plays one of the main characters in this movie. He gets a bit over the top at times, but I kind of understood why they went in that direction. Another character or an actress that I think everyone should watch out for is Catherine Newton. She was actually in Blockers last year. She played a role in this movie. Started out a bit iffy on her character, but you slowly get to like the journey that they're on, even if it's predictable and even if the mystery isn't the best thing I've ever seen, because once again, I predicted many elements of this movie, but you can't help but to get to the end of the film and feel this heartwarming nature of where the story goes, because trust me, if you're semi-invested in the story, the end is absolutely a payoff. I believe the end of the movie was actually my favorite part. And now, of course, we've talked about the creatures and how you need to pay attention if you're looking for all of the different types of Pokemon. Ryan Reynolds is in this movie, and he is the voice of Detective Pikachu, and he's great. He's the best part of the film. Now, of course, the best part for me is seeing all of the characters come to life, but if you're talking performance-wise, he's absolutely the best. He embodies what it means to be this character, and you will see that when you watch the movie. You will also see the relationship with he and Justice Smith's character. Even though I wasn't all for where the character of Tim goes, I loved his relationship with Pikachu, and the line delivery, the dialogue, everything from Ryan Reynolds was spot on, and that was actually one of the aspects of the movie that I was questioning going in, because I'm like, am I going to see this as Ryan Reynolds' voice in a Pokemon movie, or am I going to see this as Ryan Reynolds embodying the spirit of this character, of this specific Pikachu? And thankfully it was the second option, and thankfully he made the movie, along with all of the visuals, a really fun ride. And because of all of those things, I'm gonna go a solid 72% for Detective Pikachu. I encourage you guys to go and check this out. This was a really fun time in the theater, and I cannot wait to watch it again and try to spot all of the things that I missed. And I cannot wait to see where this world goes, because like I said at the beginning of this review, I want the Pokemon battles. I want to see maybe an Ash Ketchum, maybe some characters that we know from the original animated show, and go on the journey of being the ultimate Pokemon master. And I'm excited to see that eventually, because you know this movie is going to make all of the monies in the world, and I'm excited to see that happen. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Did you like this movie? Did you not like it? Did you think it was too over the top, too cheesy? Let me know in the comments down below, and be on the lookout, because tomorrow, many more reviews. I've got Lucifer Season 4 in the morning, a few more Netflix movies, and there are a few more movies in theaters that drop this weekend. All of those things on this channel this weekend. As always, you guys are the best, and I'll catch you very soon.
Pika.